Avengers Endgame was a massive hit in 2019, breaking many box office records and becoming first movie to hit $3 billion mark, also ending Avatar's long reign. Marvel's all previous 21 movies were used to finish entire cinematic universe on high note. But this movie had some flaws of its own, and in this video, we will look at some of the mistakes that were missed by many fans. Stay with us till the end and tell us in the comments what was your first reaction after watching this movie. In the very beginning of the movie, Pepper Potts is about to hug Tony Stark after his successful return from space. Her hair can be seen in this shot in front of her left shoulder. But after few shots, Pepper hair are now resting behind her back. In this scene, Captain America, Black Widow, Ant-Man, and Hulk were having breakfast. Burrito in front of Banner in this shot is whole. But immediately after 2 seconds, that burrito is cut in half. This continuity error is shown many times in this scene. This is quite interesting mistake in the end game. This is scene where Banner tried to experiment time machine and orders Black Widow to kill the power after seeing failure to bring original Ant-Man back. The equipment shown in background is actually an air conditioner, but Hulk termed it as some kind of power generator that was powering the time machine. This is soon after that power kill scene. After seeing failed experimentation with time machine, Steve Rogers came out of the building. The sun's apparent position is such that there is no shadow on the ground where Steve is standing or where the pillars are. But after 1 second, in the very next scene, sun has somehow changed its position and now there is shadow all over the ground. This is another major mistake in this movie. Hulk and Rocket went to visit Thor in New Asgard. The vehicle they used, as in this frame, has a UK-style registration plate, but New Asgard is in Norway. Rear registration plates in the UK are yellow, but white in Norway. However, the actual registration number used is not a valid UK registration as the current format is 2 letters, 2 numbers, and 3 letters. Nor is it a valid Norwegian registration which uses the format 2 letters and 5 numbers. This scene is supposed to be from earlier Marvel movie released in 2012, when Captain America enters the elevator to retrieve the staff from the Hydra agents. Jasper Sitwell is seen using a Samsung Galaxy S6 which was released in 2015. Even if S.H.I.E.L.D. had more advanced gadgets than the rest of the world, there is still no possible way that Sitwell could have been using anything more recent than a Galaxy S3. After the Battle of New York in 2012, Captain America's uniform was very dirty and noticeably torn in several places, as seen in left picture, but here, in this scene, he is shown to have a pristine uniform after the battle with no mud on it. He also lost his helmet in that battle, but in this scene he is wearing again. When Steve starts fighting 2012 Steve, he places the case containing Loki's scepter on the ground. He then starts to run towards 2012 Steve, leaving the case far behind him. The two then start fighting hand to hand, and the case is suddenly right beside them. In this scene, the Ancient One was explaining Bruce how Infinity Stones create flow of time. The Mind Stone is near towards the Ancient One in this frame. But immediately in next frame, literally, next frame, Mind Stone is now near to the Bruce. This is flashback of 1970 in which Stan Lee is seen driving 1971 Oldsmobile Cutlass, as evidenced by the taillights being horizontal instead of vertical. A 1971 model was not possible to be available in 1970. In this scene, the S.H.I.E.L.D. employee describes one of the intruders as having a hippie beard. The security guard asks if it was a Bee Gees beard. While the Bee Gees were active in 1970, they had only one single on the US charts that year, and no one had any idea what they looked like, much less Barry Gibb's beard. In this scene, while on the military base in 1970, a large personnel truck is seen. The tires are incorrect for the period. Correct tires would have been the skinny tires with duals on the rear. Super singles are seen, which were not used until the A1 series of the 1982 trucks. At the S.H.I.E.L.D. Army headquarters in 1970, as Rogers signals for Stark that he is ready to leave, we see that Stark is speaking to his father, and as they speak, in the background there are 2 privates in dark uniform, speaking to an officer wearing a beige uniform. As the camera switches between the senior and junior Starks, the privates are still there, but the officer appears and disappears alternatively. In the final battle scene, Thanos is seen pushing Stormbreaker into Thor's chest. He is clearly holding Stormbreaker in both of his hands, and his double-blade sword is no way near in this frame. And he is hit with Thor's hammer. In the very next shot, he is holding his double-blade sword. During the fight against Thanos, Captain America's shield is broken in half by the enemy's sword. However, when all the heroes arrive to the battlefield through the portals, the shield appears intact. It is shown broken again in the subsequent shots. It's hard to see in here, but if you zoom in, you will see that outline of the shield is circular, showing it is not broken. Steve gets the radio call from Falcon before the portal opens. At this point, Falcon is still in Wakanda, on the other half of the world, way out of the radio contact range. In this scene, Valkyrie is seen riding a Pegasus. Since Asgard has been destroyed and she has been living on Earth for many years, where did she get the Pegasus from? When Quill is fighting two of Thanos' henchmen, he is shown with a blaster in both of his hands. The second henchman is shot by Gamora and collapses on top of Quill. He then pushes the henchman off him, and the blaster is no longer in his right hand. Quill removes his face mask, and the blaster is suddenly back in his right hand again. While the wizards created the shields to protect the Terran forces against the rain of fire from Thanos' ship, they should have created portals instead that would send the firepower back at the ship, firing down upon the forces on the ground. Using the gauntlet would kill a mortal wielder, as we see on Tony Stark. However, we see Professor Hulk, a mortal merely upgraded by gamma radiation, snapping with it and surviving it. Therefore, we can safely assume that more advanced being could use it, like Carol Denver, who actually grabs it in this scene. This could have saved from all the next trouble that came towards them. At the end of the movie, Thor is speaking with Valkyrie about being the new queen of Asgard. His beard is trimmed and much shorter. In the next scene aboard the ship with the Guardians, when he and Quill are arguing about who is in charge, Thor's beard is back to how long it was earlier in the film. Thank you for watching this video. Please let us know in the comments what you think about it, and if you like the content, hit the like and subscribe button. Means a lot to us. Thank you again.